Maybe you're thinking of walking away from a marriage, changing your career, or starting something completely different than you've ever done before. It's not that you haven't thought it through. You've thought it to death. But the fear of making the wrong move and living with the shame and the judgment if it all goes wrong has you stuck. If that's where you are, this video is a lifeline, a path forward. By the end, you'll feel more certain about what's true for you and more at peace with your choices going forward. If your heart is saying go, but your mind freezes with fear and screams, "What if I regret it?" Keep watching. What I'm giving you in this video is what helped me leave behind a marriage and a career and completely reinvent my life. It's also why I live with zero regrets about those choices. You can't regret something without making a choice, but you also can't grow by avoiding making choices. So how do you know if a major life decision you want to make will lead to regret? We have to flip that question on its head. You don't feel regret because you made a bad decision. You feel regret because the decision you made violated something that matters deeply to you, even if you weren't aware of it at the time. So regret is not the universe punishing you. And once you understand how it works, regret stops feeling like a punishment and becomes a compass. Let's start with this. What makes you feel good about your choices when you do feel good about them? There's a particular word for exactly what I mean, but I can't say it because if I do, your mind will immediately shut down and you will jump off this video like it's trying to attack you. I'll reveal it later, but if you think you know what it is, let me know in the comments below. It all comes down to alignment. When your actions align with your values, you feel good about yourself. You feel clear. You feel authentic. And here's where it gets interesting. Most people think they know their values. They'll say things like, I value family, or honesty, or freedom. But those might just be words you've picked up from your parents when you were growing up, or from people you admire. And let me just say this. No one gets to tell you what your values should be. Not your mentor, not your wife, and not me. If you're struggling to make a choice, most likely you don't know your core values, but you will when you do the values exercise I'll give you in a moment. Your true values live deep in your unconscious. They're generalizations built from your lived experience, what's moved you, fulfilled you, or even hurt you. They shape what you're drawn to and what you avoid. They are the driving force behind every decision you make, regardless if you're conscious of them. Here's something most people never consider. When you get clear on your real values, you might discover that you don't need to blow everything up. You might find that your marriage, one you thought was broken, can be rebuilt when you stop leaving yourself out and start living your truth. You might realize the career you thought you needed to escape from still has a place for you, but only if you show up as someone who's clear about what they want. Either way, you'll never be unhappy that you follow your values, regardless of how many mistakes you make. The definition of what a value is, and the way that I mean it, it's a generalization about an experience that is important to you. So what causes regret? Regret happens when your behavior or a choice violates one or more of your values. Let me give you an example. If you value kindness and you snap at someone in a moment of stress, you'll probably feel bad afterward. That discomfort isn't a punishment. It's your nervous system signaling, that's not who I want to be. It's actually a beautiful function, a feature of who you are, not a bug. This is how we learn from mistakes and become better people. And here's the crazy part. Don't let the strength of your regret upset you. The pain of your regret indicates the depth of your commitment to the value you violated. So you can feel good about feeling bad. In other words, if you feel bad about being rude to someone, that bad feeling indicates your commitment to kindness. You can apply this right now to any regret you're carrying with you. This is the beginning of freeing yourself from the grip of regret and discovering what you need to know to do better going forward. Here's the truth. If you're aligned with your values and you've gathered the information you need to make an informed choice, you will not regret that decision, even if it doesn't go as planned. Most people think they need to wait. Wait until they know more. Wait until the timing is perfect. Wait until someone gives you permission. But time doesn't wait. And if you let it, time and circumstances will make the decision for you. That's where real regret lives. Leaving my previous marriage behind was difficult. I was clear enough about my values to know there was no way I was going to be fulfilled in that relationship. I needed to leave. At the same time, I knew it was going to create friction between my kids and me. I knew they would blame me, but if I stayed, I'd be teaching them that being unhappy in a relationship is normal, just like I saw growing up. I didn't want them spending years trying to fix in themselves what they modeled from me. What I didn't expect when I left was how hard it would actually be. My kids shut me out. Sometimes they even stopped talking to me. There were times I wanted to walk away completely. It felt easier than showing up and feeling like a failure in their eyes. But there was one thing I knew for sure. If I walked away from them, if I gave up on being their father, I would regret that for the rest of my life. I knew this because I was clear about my values, not because of any external pressure. So I kept showing up. I continued doing my best to be their father, no matter how they treated me. And it worked. Over time, they changed. We healed. And now we have a great relationship. Not because I got it perfect, but because I stayed true to what mattered most to me. While I left one part of my old life behind, I stayed connected to what I valued, my connection to my kids. You can apply this to any area of your life if you're worried that you might leave something important behind when you make a big life shift. There comes a moment when you realize it's not about certainty. It's not about making the right choice. It's about making a value-aligned choice and then making it right, no matter what happens. And if you've ever been accused of being selfish when you were just trying to do what's best for you, pause. Ask yourself, was I really out of alignment with my values? Or did I just stop living by someone else's? When you can look in the mirror the next morning and say, I did what was aligned with who I truly am, that's peace, that's strength, that's freedom. There was another time, maybe even harder in a different way, where I had to make a tough choice that involved 3 people I cared about. No matter what I chose, at least one person was going to be disappointed with me. And if I really goofed this up, all 3 might hate me. So I did what I always do now. I went to my values. What choice aligns with what matters most to me? And I made it. And yes, one person really didn't like it. At the end of the day, no matter how upset someone else might be with your decision, they'll get over it and move on. You're the one who has to live with the choice when you go to bed at night and look in the mirror the next morning. So the real question becomes, do you want to live your life trying to keep people happy so they're not angry with you? Or do you want to make choices that are right for you? Choices that attract people who value you for who you are, not just what you do for them. Oh, and that person who I disappointed, they cut me out of their life. And what happened next surprised me. I found out that they had hidden motives. I dodged a bullet. This is the power of knowing your values. You stop negotiating with fear, you stop trying to please everyone, and you start living what matters to you. Yes, you will lose people, but most of the time, you're purging the people who aren't supportive of who you truly are. You're making room for the people who do matter. You might be tolerating something right now, a job, a relationship, a way of living, telling yourself, I can manage this for now. But for now turns into forever, quicker than you think. Here's how you can avoid regret and take aligned action. Elicit your values in the context of the decision you want to make. Gather enough information to make an informed choice. Accept uncertainty. You're not psychic. Take actions that align with your values. If it doesn't go right the first time, commit to making it right. No one can validate what's important to you. All they can offer is feedback, and only you can determine if their feedback is useful or not. So, will you regret leaving your old life behind? Only if you don't know what you truly value. Only if you leave your decisions up to time, to pressure, or to fear. When you align with your values, take responsibility for your choices, and stop waiting. You're free to leave, free to stay, free to reinvent everything, or transform what you already have. If you're ready to start, you'll find that values elicitation exercise I mentioned earlier in the description below this video. It's also good for resolving regret that you already have. Identifying your values isn't just about going over a list of traits and circling the ones that sound good. It's more than that. It's a way to uncover what really matters, not just what sounds good on paper. Now, you might be wondering about regret that you're already carrying. Here's how to start resolving it. Elicit your value or values that you violated in that situation. Instead of focusing on the pain of regret, connect with your commitment to that value or values that you violated. Reimagine the situation where you do align with your values rather than violate them. Take note of what you learned from this and imagine being in a similar situation in the future. See yourself aligning with your values and handling the situation in a way that you feel good about yourself. This process relieves emotional burden and reframes mistakes as learning. If you're still wondering about that one word that I refrained from using because you would jump off this video, here it is in a moment. First, this approach to regret comes from neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. More specifically, the teachings of my mentor, the late Steve Andreas. What I'm giving you in this video is what helped me leave behind a marriage and a career and completely reinvent my life. It's also why I live with zero regrets about those choices. Now for that one word. It's probably a word that you learned about in grade school, so you associate it with something only children struggle with. But I assure you, 99% of the population, including you, struggle with it as well. And that is self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. So if you're ready to get honest with yourself, you definitely want to check out this next video that will give you the truth about dealing with low self-worth.